All right, so here's the thing. I'm going to test one last thing, just to confirm. So far, unless you turn off a prop mod, the bug will not happen, except for one exception. Apparently, if you don't turn on your prop mod at all, the bug will still happen, which is right. So just going to confirm that using my original, that this is the first time I actually reproed the bug on this exact mission. So I'm on grid with a rat. It's going to interact with me. I'm going to web it. Then I'm going to not turn off my webber and just simply wait till the mission's ended, warp to dock, and dock. And I will get one version of the Warbling 2.0 depending on whether I land short or I land inside the docker. All right. Now, the interesting thing is that I've been under power, right? I've never actually stopped. It goes boom. Things turned off. Okay. I've noticed that when I'm under thrust, I can't repro the bug version 2.0. Got a feeling I needed to have slowed down enough to kick the bug in. The bug kicks in. Okay, I just landed short. If the bug is persisting 2.0 onto dock, I'll get the engine sound, not the spool up. So I'm expecting the engine sound. But if I don't get anything, it's because I didn't slow down enough to get the bug, which could explain why I think, anecdotally, that not turning on the prop mod at all won't kick the bug in, right? I'm sorry, won't. If you don't turn the prop mod on at all, you'll get the bug somehow when you're activating stuff. That might have been because I'd slowed down enough during that mission for the bug to kick in. And it had nothing to do with the fact that I hadn't turned my prop on. All right? Which is interesting still, because that's a situation I didn't turn the prop mod on, which is even more interesting. And talking about it right now, because that, there's so many layers to the it's so counterintuitive that there's so many layers to it, right? Yeah, it's weird because normally if I turn the prop mod on and leave it on and don't turn it manually off, version 1 and version 2 never kick in, right? But if I do turn it off manually, I will get the version 2.0 100%, and version 1. Version 2 is the one that persists till dock. The only way that happens is if at some point during that interaction I have slowed down so that the bug, you'll hear the bug kick in because it'll start spooling up the mic warp drive. Now that could be intended. One assumes it's intended because we've always heard that, right? And that is something very interesting. As a veteran who's played for 20 years in this game, I know that when I'm sitting stock still, I'll get a continuous warbling up, swooling up sound. What if that's not normal? And CCP has just completely not been, obviously, they don't have a freaking clue how this game played, but they just not realized that that's an effect. Wouldn't that be interesting if the only way they intended, and originally, like way back when, probably during beta, for the prop mod spool up sound to happen was when you turn it on and that's it. You only need meant to hear it once. Could be interesting because that is the only way this bug persists until dock, which is fascinating speculation, but whatever, right? So this is the mission that I originally reproed it, and the fact that I can't hear anything is proof positive that it's got nothing to do with it's got nothing to do with this one. The only way the warble was active was because I must have slowed down enough to have the bug kick in. Or I could have been mistaken and I had, but I didn't. But I'm pretty sure I've 100% reproed this without turning the prop mod on at all at a site. It could also be that I was at the site too long. That'll kick in the bug too. But if you think about it, if I'm at the site too long, I could have been very stock still as the rats were about me, and that adds even more nuance to this. It's like, how is it caused exactly? Right? If I have to be stock still or slow enough to get the spool up sound continually, right? Or no, I wouldn't if I hadn't turned the prop mod on at all, right? Why is it kicking in if I persist on the battlefield too long with rats? It's just, right, another added layer to this. It's like, what the fuck? So I didn't get the prop mod warble at dock when I had the prop mod at all, but I'd done everything to repro it as I'd done before, but I was under thrust while the rat was still there. I stopped, you saw, after the rat died, but my intuition, obviously my intuition isn't speaking out loud to you guys, but my intuition was very strong. When the rat died and I went, oh, I need to be slow enough for this to kick in. I don't know why I thought that, but it was very strong. It's like you needed to be either stock still or slow enough, and I wasn't. So that's when I stopped my ship and then docked. But my intuition was like, this bug is not gonna, you're not gonna hear it. It's not gonna, you haven't activated it somehow. And I'm like, huh? But yeah, my unconscious, of course, knows a lot more than conscious, because I'm, this kind of thing, it needs to be verbalized to communicate what the hell's going on to CCP. But telling them I feel right isn't gonna cut the mustard when they have a hammer and they want everything to be a nail, or they see everything as a nail. So yeah, wish me luck in getting this one down pat, but I'm fairly sure. And I'll be doing these runs again. It's an easy way. It's like the Soldier Fortune is a super easy way of getting enough points to get 750. Even not, there's quicker ways of doing it, but it's an easy way of doing it, and you can do it over and over again with biomass characters. So it's very easy to get these missions and just keep beating a dead horse. And we need to beat a dead horse, turn it into a nail. Need to beat a dead nail. That's basically it. A doornail. Which is basically dead as a doornail, man. Dead as a freaking doornail. It's no longer a horse. We just turned it into a nail.